flash your plans. Let me know whenever your timer's ready. All right, go ahead. All right, good afternoon. My name is Conrad, and today we're going to talk about gun control. The purpose of my speech is to possibly persuade or even reinforce your opinions on gun control. Imagine being awakened from a deep sleep to the sound of a crashing lamp falling, and then the muffled sounds of someone cursing someone else for their clumsiness. You quickly realize that is not the sound of your sweet daughter getting a midnight snack and your wife's beside you. At that moment, do you reach for a baseball bat and prepare that this intruder is not more prepared than you are, or do you grab the cold, warming feel of steel and prepare to defend your family with a handgun or possibly a semi-automatic weapon as you await the 15 minutes for police to arrive to your scene? Gun control has been the #1 choice for political elections. Everybody wants to be for gun control or against it, and they generally paint a bad picture. Many Americans believe there's absolutely no reason for a normal citizen to own a gun. Let the police do their job and protect us, and let the military go overseas and defend our lands. If there are no guns, then that means there's going to be no massacres like Sandy Hook, no crazy gun violence, or anything like that. To fully understand gun control, we need to look back into America's deep, dark history and see where gun control started. Why was the Second Amendment created? The Second Amendment was created around the time where America just escaped the tyranny of the British government, and they were trying to create their own government. They wanted to establish something that was fair for all people without just one person being in charge. It was to give the people the right to rise up to government, to keep the government in check, basically, to keep the government from becoming a tyrant. And it kept the government from overstepping their boundaries. And at that time, America was at war for its freedom. There was another country trying to claim ours, and we were trying to make a stand for us. There were many militias that were created to defeat the British forces that were trying to reclaim the colonies, to reclaim the land that they thought was theirs. And these militias consisted of civilians along with their civilian arms. Many can argue that the mass amount of armed civilians in today's world keeps many countries from trying to invade and send ground troops on our soil. They would have to fight the world's greatest Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, and they would also have to fight the thousands and millions of Americans that are armed to the teeth in their own homes. The right to defend yourself seems as a natural instinct. Why would someone take that right away? The first step in gaining complete control of somebody is to completely disarm them. You take away their weapons, they have nothing to combat you. What will happen if America is disarmed? A lot of people ask. Well, that answer can be easily found by looking at American places that have that answer can be easily seen by looking at places where America has very strict gun policies. One of those places is Detroit. Detroit has been the #1 most dangerous city for gun violence for 5 years in a row. And this place has very, very strict gun policies. In order to even own a gun in your house, you have to take classes, you have to fall within a certain criteria, and if you fall out of that criteria, the whole lengthy process starts all over again. So it's very difficult to own a weapon. Another place we can look at is our beautiful nation's capital. Our nation's capital has 0 concealed carry at all. You're only allowed to have a weapon inside your house. You can't move it to your car or anything like that. It should be the safest city to live in. No one has weapons. But in the year 2011, it was recorded there were 242 for every 100,000 people charged with robbery with a gun, and 71% of the homicides were committed with a firearm. If firearms are illegal, then how is these two cities ranked in the top for the most gun violence? The answer is simple. Criminals will get what they want even if the law says they are allowed to or not. If they want a gun, they're going to get it the legal way, or they're going to go on the black market and find their own. And the law-abiding citizens are the ones that are unable to protect themselves. Lawful gun ownership has taken the fall for many unfortunate mass murders, such as the Sandy Hook massacre. In the Sandy Hook massacre happened on December 14th of 2010. 20-year-old Adam Lanza uses a legal gun from his family, murders his mother, and goes to an elementary school and unfortunately massacres 20 first-grade students, 20 children, and then 6 teachers. If he did not have access to a legal gun, then would this crime have been committed? If he couldn't go in his mother's closet and grab their assault rifle, could that crime have committed? The answer is very clear. Look at different places. China, 0 guns. No guns allowed at all. On the same day, December 14th of 2012, Min Ying-jun, 36, walks into an elementary school during the time, about the same time as the Sandy Hook. Students are going to school, takes out a knife and wounds 22 children. 22 children and 1 adult before he is detained with a knife. Fortunately, there were 0 deaths in that stabbing though. Evil people are going to do evil things whether we allow them to legally own weapons or if they find another way around it. People kill people, not guns. Why have a gun? Why should you have a gun if you don't plan on using it? Let's substitute having a gun for having a fire extinguisher. Nobody builds a house or builds $1 million company with the plans of that company burning down. We have a fire suppression system. We have fire extinguishers. So in the event that something happens, we are prepared to extinguish that fire. We're prepared to save our business, our money. The same thing happens with having a weapon for your family. No one wants somebody to rob them, but in the event that somebody does, do you want to be prepared or not? Do you want to leave your family's hands? Do you want to leave your family's lives in the hands of criminals who are more prepared than you, or do you want to be more prepared than the criminals? Women's Self-Defense Institute says the average response time for an emergency is 10 minutes. No matter where you are in the world, the average is 10 minutes. So I call the police, that's 10 minutes to wait for an armed person to come in and rescue me or save me. In conclusion, gun rights were created so people can control the government. That's going to keep them from controlling us. That's going to keep them from overstepping their boundaries. Strict gun law cities top the charts as the most dangerous places to live in. When you take away the guns, they're still going to find guns. And prepare for worst case scenarios and pray for the best. Heroin, LSD, methamphetamines, and other narcotics are highly illegal, but they have caused over 40,393 deaths in the U.S. per year, 3 times more than the 16,259 caused by firearm homicide in the U.S. Legal or not, criminals will find a way to get what they want, whether drugs or weapons. Are you prepared to protect yourself or your family? Any questions for me? Thank you. My name is Conrad. Have a great day. Woo!
8 minutes exactly.
I want to go longer than supposed to, but I don't give 2 shits, man.
It stopped recording.